It's February 14th, 2022. Yesterday was LVI. Today's something on the calendar called Valentine's Day. But if I show the circadian rhythm of the circular metric for measuring time inside some grid block of space, it would be represented by, yesterday was LVI day. Big day for some of the U.S. North Americans, or just Americans, but I don't want to upset the other kids. And then today is the V day for Valentine's Day. So it is just really amazing how that signature is just where I'm at. I'm still not this way. I don't want anybody to get confused, because this would be acceptable. This is part of the problem, part of the solution, part of the problem. On the calendar that Linda has, that I've referenced before, being America the Beautiful, in whatever, in some USA project, February is represented with a Lincoln Memorial, I believe that's what that is. I don't know, it doesn't say. Oh yeah, Abraham Lincoln. That's the Lincoln Memorial. And then down on the 14th bingo square, it says Valentine's Day. I then go to my reference of my Italian ancestry, Sons of Italy. On the 14th square, it says Valentine's Day, and it's February. It also says Fiesta di San Valentino. And that's this. So we're all in same frame of reference for where I'm being held captive with that really amazing, I mean, on the one, and this is Boys Town. I mean, on the one hand, I look at Super Bowl reference and I'm like, everything aligns with something in my being held in captivity and all of the abuse that I've suffered. So, frame of reference is correct. Just like they talk of New York State being part of a larger United States of some sort, of one president with they have builders and framers, as if it was a construction project. But then I think, and I'm like, well, a framer is could be a really great person, but it depends on because right now, like if you saw yesterday's football frame of reference, if I just put a picture frame on it, there really was none of me inside that football stadium. I mean, I still had people dressed to the nines, literally and figuratively. I mean, they weren't all decked out, but whatever. So there was Eminem. So that's interesting in this interior, possibly Bush people message, but like there's Anheuser-Busch with Clydesdales, don't forget. And then there's the American Quarter Horse. Big difference. So most of these, different stock, different breed, different amount of hands in metrics to measure, because I think they go by hands, hands down, whatever. So this is the regular calendar. Most of the calendars are saying Valentine's is the 14th box, and President's is the 21st, which is interesting in my 12s, and then they're in some reverse fashion for builders of whatever. I really feel like a baby seal, like balancing on a white shark, Guadalupe Bay size, perhaps, with its jaws open, going, no mangiare noi, no mangiare noi, like, don't eat me. I just have picture frames from beyond comprehension, and I got a couple of things that line up. But now what's interesting is on this one agreed upon U.S. calendar with the Lincoln Memorial, this was the only one that said it's Washington's birthday observed. The rest of the boxes and the grids, I don't know, I mean, like admirable mentions. One says Washington only is being observed, and the other ones say, oh wait, hold on. And here's the Italians, they break it up to the 21st and the 22nd. That's interesting. Because here at Boys Town, Washington's not even mentioned. It's just the 14th, and so again, like, it made some calendar, but now I have multiple calendars as cross-references because I don't trust humans. And it was brought to my attention through being abused and hurt really, really bad. And then all of a sudden, I'm in a place and space where there are multiple calendars mailed from the U.S. Post and the federal system. So thank you for that. Multiple options to read, and then Lynn went out and bought one in whatever subliminal messages that she gets on her human antenna. She went out and bought one that's very different than the other ones that were mailed. For like a retail perspective, as opposed to whatever. In case they don't let you mail USA calendars for some reason. Hard to tell what's counterfeit, what's really real. I know there's some agreement somehow, somewhere. I don't have any. But, like, again, then today is Valentine's Day, and it's like, I would really like to participate in humanity and be like, oh my god, it's Valentine's Day. But I've never had my eternal flame for, like, any length of time that was, I mean, like, in this abused penalty and panic safely room that I'm in, and the sequence of I mean, again, I get sucked into a brass tacks meeting between a whole time and space between here and there. It's really irrelevant if my body keeps showing up in this beaten genetic format and my symbol keeps looking like this instead of this. I don't quite understand why the bicentennial, like, entrance persona that I was born as with another, why we weren't able to be held in wherever we belong like this. Why did we have to be held at this? It just doesn't make sense, and I feel like this is in, like, dead galaxies with dead cities. I just feel like it is a larger problem, considering that not every, Like, just like there was talent on the field yesterday at Super Bowl, but there's not always. Then there was a lot of fans. They're the supporters of the talent. Again, and I know at some level people get that, but then that's also where people fight sometimes over who's the talent and who's the support staff. Um, so on the one hand, like I could only imagine uh, talent of greater proportions in gigantic white sharks with really sharp teeth. If there was a gathering for whatever reason, like Guadalupe during Shark Week that they put on Discovery TV, if there were several large white sharks with sharp teeth, and there was only one baby seal to balance on the nose, I really would not want to get into that kind of trap or fight over this large performance was a showmanship of so many things, but I'm still being held captive by humans and not necessarily the two that I arrived with, although they're the ones that are at least giving me a space to coexist within. But the treatment and the care and the preceding 43 years is not acceptable at all. And so it just becomes, and then today's Valentine's Day, so it's like yesterday was, it could be seen as a big show of respect and whatever, but I don't know who was involved and if they really meant it or if it was a forced issue that just converged and people had their choices taken away, and now the aftermath is going to be like an avalanche that completely, because I've already had gigantic, really scary science used against my person in invisible numbers and invisible light, and that's really, and I don't know who or why. I mean, I know somebody knows. And then there's the Lou said to me today, because like he's got his big thing was he liked the Eagles, the Beatles, the whatever music that I really don't. I mean, they're whatever. And he used to say they're like so prophetic and like prophecy on the radio, and I'm like, right, yeah, I got that. And then this morning, last night, he couldn't even listen to the music. He was like all agitated, and today he comes up and he says, because I had paused the TV and the performance, and I was just in my own voice saying the same words, but without beat, just monochronomic or mono whatever. And so he said, he's like, he came up this morning, he's like, I thought about it. I really liked the words and the message. And I'm like, right, yeah, I got that. I was like, because it's not necessarily that far off from where your whatever Beatles or whatever you liked was. I was like, it's the messenger that's different, Lou. I was like, it's the tempo, it's the messenger, it's the feeling, it's the everything has shifted. It's hip hop, it's a different rap game. Just is. I was like, but if you break down the words in just words, they do have meaning, context, and message. And he was like, yeah, and you're right. He's like, I just can't get into that whole, I don't know, like, I mean, he didn't use the word genre, but I know that's what he meant. I just, it was like unavoidable. being in a car and somebody else is driving and it just crashes in. I mean, you're on course to crash into something. How do you take control of the wheel and swerve? Anyhow, so the calendars and the discrepancies of the calendars, and there being so many different varieties of the calendar. I know that there's real whatever builders and framers that do this professionally, that need and call for respect. I'm not trying to disrespect them. It's just the real story and what expectations are seem to have like a really big whatever, really big discrepancy at the moment for abacus and watching the beads go from side to side. Like, I already contributed this and I didn't get the results that I wanted, or I didn't get like the whatever out of it. She's still being held captive, and there's still a larger problem with losing constellations. I mean, I was even thinking about this as I walked this morning. I'm like, so I'm in black water. See, this could be green, or this could be considered infrared. Depends on what lantern you're speaking with. But I was thinking about I was thinking about flagship and fleet and quiet reserved community has its own tiered system of respect protocols and running things up flagpoles and whatever. That makes total sense when you are taught what the words are and what the faces look like and who to go to and address for whatever might arise, if you have access to that level of somebody special and importance, but I don't at the moment. I was thinking about that, and I'm like, you're out in Blackwater territory, and if you're on a ship that's used to having like command posts of like bells and whistles and gadgets and gadgets that other people are not allowed to have because you're on the somebody special ship, you are secure in your ability to navigate at high level. But if you're on like some teak wood yacht where you've got like a Doppler or whatever for fishing, deep sea fishing, let's just say, and you're all the way out and you lose the ability to see the constellations, and you are not prepared with bells and whistles on your vessel, I'm pretty sure it might not be certain death, but it does cross one's mind if I lose constellations, I lose navigation. That's a really big problem. I'm just saying it from land. I don't know, and visually from my own whatever. I don't know, and I'm not getting into a contest with people who have far greater sextant capability or observatory capability than myself. Because some of the equipment has a back code and a back programming that is part of the calculation problem. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken, it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. There is an indivisible set of numeracies that are licensed to a specific whatever, in whatever, that runs certain programs. If the rationale and the irrationale are being interrupted, there is an indivisible set and an invisible set of instruments that used to be able to calculate things precisely, but I don't know if that set of instrumentation and set anchor points get messed with. I'm pretty sure the results would be something like what I'm going through at the moment. There's some shaking going on. I have no idea what that is. It's just like reverb or vibration, but I don't know. I mean, I hear it in the ceiling, but I don't know if it's coming from outside the window again. Random events that occur around here often. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, it's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies Broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.